Hey everybody, Halito, welcome. Good to have you here. And I know it's not the way that we would like to have you at a regular Unity conference where we all get to see each other, feel each other's energy, share songs, be around each other, all that good medicine. I know we're not doing that this year. What are we doing instead? We're taking care of each other. We're taking care of our communities, and we are taking care of our elders. So during this time, we got to find new ways to connect. And this is it for us, our way of connecting, of sharing ideas and thoughts. So I really thank you for being here and sharing this time with me. I feel honored to have asked to share some things with you today. Through this means it's not the most comfortable for me. Like I said, I'd rather be right there with you, having a good time and feeding off your energy. But I'm going to do the best. So just wanted to share some words with you. And I'm going to start off with the story. And the story goes back to 1994 in Janesville, Wisconsin. There was a white buffalo calf that was born. And the farmer, actually, when this calf was born, knew the significance of what this event was. And the farmer named the calf Miracle. And many people from all over came to visit this calf. Miracle lived for 10 years. And during that 10 years, Miracle's coat changed. Miracle was born with a white coat. Then it switched to black. And then it turned red. And then it turned yellow. And some people were saying that Miracle was connecting with all, what we would say, all the shades of man. During her short life. Many people from all over the U.S. and Canada came to visit Miracle. There was people even from other countries who came to visit Miracle. And the question was, why were so many people coming out to visit Miracle to see this calf? Well, it is prophesied that this calf was to signal the beginning of a movement. And what type of movement? A healing movement. That's going to be felt globally. Healing. So what is healing? First of all, healing is a forward movement. It's always moving forward. And sometimes you hear people say things like, I wish we could go back to the way we were, or I wish we could go back and be more like our ancestors. Well, the question is, when our culture is centered around evolving and maturing, how can we go backwards on a cycle that's always moving forwards? So if we were to think that even a circle represents a life cycle, we come onto this earth. When we come to earth, we're put into these earth bodies and we're a baby. And as we move along the circle, we go into childhood, into teenager, into young adult, into adulthood, into elderhood, until we eventually become an ancestor. So we're always moving toward becoming an ancestor. So when we're talking about the past, what we're really talking about is what was the culture of our ancestors, or what were the principles, the practices, and the core value systems of our ancestors. So in a way, rather than looking back, we can use our ancestral ways as a guide to help us move forward. I mean, that's what this cycle is all about, right? So the word healing itself, well, the word heal comes from a Hebrew word that means hilu, which means to become whole, the whole circle, right? So when you think about healing in terms of indigenous thought, fulfilling your circle is becoming whole. So healing is our movement toward becoming an ancestor, right? Prior to that, toward becoming an elder. Prior to that, to becoming a strong man or woman, and so forth. So as we start to look at what healing is really about, healing isn't about fixing something that's wrong with you. Healing is about an always forward movement. So when we're talking about healing, we're talking about moving forward from things that have happened to us moving forward for things or feelings that we've had, especially times when we feel stuck. And what we're seeing worldwide is really a healing movement, a movement to try to move forward from our past, to try to learn from our past, to try to do better. And that's important for us to understand, and important for you to understand, is what does that mean to do better, to be better. And it's not in terms of being better than someone else. It's in terms of being the best you that you can be. You know, as you take one rotation around this, there's a word for that, and that is a revolution. A revolution involves spiritual, emotional, mental, physical. So if we look at this model also, is what it's telling us is that in order for a revolution to truly happen, it also happens, what we say, within ourselves. So the big question that's been asked, even before what we see as some of the demonstration and riots with COVID-19, is what are we doing for ourselves during this time? When all this is said and done, are we going to come out of it better people? Are we going to come out of it stronger? Are we going to come out of it more focused? What's the change? What's the revolution inside of us that's going to happen during this time? If we look at how our ancestors and how our people in general have always looked at issues and always looked to solve problems, they were leaders, but they led with love. So leading by love means we're starting right here, right? We're starting right here. And if this was a cycle, this means that we have to start from here to balance our emotion, to not let the actions of others rule our emotion, but rather our connection with our Creator and ourselves rule our emotions. And when we do that, we have a more stabilized frame of mind, right? Before we take action ourselves. I mean, this is an old teaching. I'm sure you've been told this before when you've had a parent or grandparent or someone who takes care of you said, think before you act, right? That's really what they're talking about. They're talking about what's our process for decision making and what's our process of how we're going to answer this. So what healing, you know, when we're talking about taking care of ourselves emotionally, there are tools, there's things that our people have used. There's lots of ways to take care of this, you know, that isn't, let's say, the colonized way or the way of the intention of the colonizers who introduced alcohol to our communities. And that was a way of self-harm. That was a way of ethnocide, so that we can't take care of ourselves properly, right? It was a way to disenfranchise our men from being fathers and taking care of their sons. Mental. And I'm going to challenge you with mental, because mental is when we start to pose questions of why. See, mental to me is really about learning and understanding. And it's through our mental capacities that we start to have and learn compassion, that we start to be trauma informed. And then we start to form some questions, some important questions regarding, and that's going to help us evolve as individuals. These are important questions to ask. Some important questions to ask are things like this. Why are the images of God in Christ that we see worldwide, why are those images of a white man? Why is Santa Claus envisioned as a white man when, according to history, is based on St. Nicholas, who was a man of color? Why, in some of the maps that we still use today in classrooms, do we see European continents bigger than what they actually are? Why do we learn when going through school that George Washington was the first elected president of the United States? Why do we hold up and regard a white supremacist as the greatest president who ever lived? Why in the Declaration of Independence are referred to as merciless Indian savages? Why were settlers paid money to bring in the bloodied scalp of one of our people? Why were some of our ancestors put into boarding schools? Why did the U.S. government feel necessary to use germ warfare on our people? Even for you as an individual, there are some important questions to ask. Why do I live on a reservation, or Why do I not live on a reservation? Why do I speak my language, or why do I not speak my language? Why am I learning my culture, or why am I not learning my culture? Why is my dad in my life, or why is my dad not in my life? Why do my people drink, or why my people don't drink? Why did my mom raise me, or why did my mom not raise me? So when we're looking at true answers of really developing ourselves, these are some personal questions that we have to ask. And it's truly looking at finding out, how do we evolve as people? I know those are some tough questions to ask. Part of what oppression is creating a belief system that one group is better, smarter, and more fortunate than another group. What we're really trying to change is this misconception of us feeling or thinking that we are less than. We have to change that belief system even within ourselves, because over time we tend to believe that. One of our teachings is this. It's about seasons, and we're waking up from 500 years of hibernation into a springtime, into a time that was invested for you, a time that was prayed for you to flourish, to nurture, and to rise. You have the potential to be the best generation ever, and possibly the best generation that ever will be. We had to be proud of who we are, no matter what our circumstances. We had to believe. We had to believe in ourselves, and we had to believe what our ancestors believe, and that is we are a gift to this world from the Creator. You know, and when we take on the beauty of ourselves, and when we take on the strength of ourselves and really look at ourselves and focus within ourselves, we do great things. We have people becoming leaders, right? And I want to give a shout out to one group in particular that's really stepping up right now. Women. We have leaders. We have CEOs. We have women that are stepping up to the plate, who are taking on these roles. They're leading that next generation of healing right now. Our women are really doing it well. All right. And our ancestors predicted this, but we had to understand how they predicted this. What they said was this: our women will step up when our men can't do the job. Young men out there, this is your calling, right? This is our understanding that we have to step up. The MMIWG movement is not a women's movement alone. Young men, you have to understand that every time you see those letters, MMIWG, or you see that red paint on a woman's face, that's a 911 call to the world reporting us. Our warriorhood is based on protection, not aggression. Protecting what is most sacred, our women and our children, is securing our next generation. So we had to step up and make that our number one objective and goal in self-development. And we can't heal by seeking the approval of what we see the colonized majority. We had to make service to our people our priority. When we do that, we're going to see a movement move faster than what we could expect. We're going to see a true revolution within ourselves. So use this opportunity to learn about yourself, learn about your history, learn about your people, and make yourself a better person. And take care of yourself. And I want you to do, as an educator, I got to give some homework. This is your homework. I want you to truly look at yourself and see what are the things that you're already on target for in each of these areas. What are you already doing well? Physical, spiritual, emotional, and mental. And right here, what do you need to improve on? What do you need to improve on? And out here, I want you to write, what do you need to let go? What's not serving you? What's not serving your people? Right? How to let go of that. Earning the respect and honor of your people is still something real that we have in our traditions. I mean, think about that. That's filled with love. That has more love than a like on social media. That's true honor and respect from your own people. I know it's hard sometimes. It's hard to believe that people who don't know you pray for you and love you. So it's hard to believe that people out there that don't even know you or who have never met you are praying for you and that they love you. But you have to believe it's true. I'm one of those people who loves you and prays for you and wants the best for you, as well as a lot of people that you're going to see here at Unity. And I know people who do that. I know people who go in ceremony for you. We have to believe that and trust that. And you have to believe this as well, that in learning your past, even as tough as it is, and even as ugly as some of that past might be, when what we uncover and what you will uncover is that you, in the terms of one of my best friends, Jolene Joseph, would say, you are a miracle survivor. A miracle survivor. See, when we hear the word miracle, we tend to think hard to believe. But what a miracle actually is when the universe is in harmony with your belief. And that, believe me, the universe wants you to succeed. Your people want you to succeed. The world wants you to succeed. There's individuals out there that are so hurt and so full of fear that their only expression is hate. You don't need to listen to those people. Listen to the people in healing, because they're coming from a place of acceptance and reality. And they're coming from a place of wanting you to do better. Be in tune with them and find them. Find those adults who will pray for you. Find those adults who will share with you. And find those peers who are not afraid to cry with you, especially if you're a man. Your road to revolution and evolution starts with this. When this video stops, write down 20 things that you are thankful for. And do that every day. Every day. And when we meet again, and we will at the next Unity virtual conference, I want some of you to join me and share what were some of the things that you found out about this, and what changes did you notice within yourself when you took part of that challenge of saying 20 things that you are thankful for every day. So thank you for your time. Thank you for joining me. We love you and we pray for you. Until we see you next time. Maro.